This is a great time for the San Francisco team to pursue the athlete they've been eyeing for a long time. The team is preparing to make a significant move in the year 2025. In this video, I bring exciting information about the long-standing aspiration of the 49ers, which is about to be tested in 2025. The conversation began from this point, and we have more updates on it. It's clear that the 49ers are looking for a receiving option at the tight end position, especially after the signing of Ferrell, who plays tight end for blocking purposes. Now, it's evident that Ferrell takes the position that was previously held by Eric Saubert, who left the team. Therefore, Ferrell is the main player in this role. However, the 49ers are still on the hunt for a second tight end capable of catching passes, as this is a need they have consistently tried to fill. They've allocated resources in the draft and worked hard to find this player. The 49ers' efforts show a genuine interest in making this a reality. Recently, they scheduled a visit with Jalen Cungers in the top 30, making him the second tight end being evaluated. Only two players have official commitments in the top 30, with one already completed and the other scheduled. These are the only top 30 visits publicly disclosed as I record this video. It's interesting to reflect on this. At the Combine, Cungers proved to be an impressive athlete, recording a time of 4.74 seconds in the 40-yard dash, a vertical jump of 35.5 inches, and a broad jump of 10 feet 1 inch. Soon, I will show you how these numbers compare to another player we recently analyzed. It's fascinating to think about the implications. At the NFL Combine, Cungers demonstrated himself to be an extraordinary athlete. He posted a 4.74-second 40-yard dash, a vertical jump of 35.5 inches, and a broad jump of 10 feet 1 inch. Soon, I'll show how these numbers compare to another player we've discussed previously. But before we dive deeper into that, let's explore what Cungers has to say about his abilities. He presents himself as a versatile athlete, claiming that he can play any role that's needed. He talks about his ability to run 5-yard routes in the red zone and create separation for the quarterback. If a high ball is thrown his way, he assures that he can leap to make the catch. He emphasizes his ability to win individual battles against safeties or linebackers in the open field, indicating that he possesses a diverse skill set. Cungers believes that he offers his quarterback multiple options in the passing game, positioning himself as a reliable safety net. In this sense, he presents himself as a pass-catching tight end, emphasizing skills that he trusts. Now, let's look at some stats on this. I'm excited about this. However, before we continue, it's important to mention an interesting experience that will be available this weekend, centered around a new way to participate in penalty decisions. If you, like me, often wonder how the outcomes of games could be different if other penalty decisions have been made at crucial moments, now there's a way to express your opinion. You can sign up for a waiting list for an innovative app that allows you to vote in real time on penalty calls during NFL and college football games. This means fans can voice their opinions on controversial decisions and highlight when referees seem to consistently favor certain teams. This has been a recurring topic on social media throughout the year, and many can relate. With this app, fans will have the chance to interact with a community of football enthusiasts advocating for fairness and accountability. It's an opportunity to unlock a new level of sports interaction by participating in real-time polls on referees, players, and teams. Moreover, the app is still in development and is seeking user feedback, allowing you to share your opinions and insights. Those who seek fairness and accountability in sports now have the chance to explore a new dimension of competition by participating in real-time polls involving referees, players, and teams. Additionally, a new app is under development and is open to receiving your feedback. You can join this initiative and share your ideas about features you'd like to see in the upcoming 2025 NFL season. Although there's still a few months to go, you'll have the chance to vote on NFL and college football penalties in real time via the designated platform. This will lead you to a page where you can input your email, join a waiting list, and provide instant feedback on your opinions. Now, let's compare two athletes who are attracting attention. This is just a preliminary combine analysis, but I'll bring more information soon, so stay tuned. Looking at the combined data alone, both athletes posted times of 4.74. I won't dive into the hundredths of a second. For me, the times are 4.46, 4.45, and 4.47. It's that simple, but that's just my perception. I make the same observation about the 10-yard split, which is quite close. I won't go too deep into that aspect. However, when we look at the vertical jump, there's a difference of 1.5 inches. The broad jump also shows a slightly better result. One of the athletes posted the best time in the 3-cone drill among tight ends and completed the 20-yard shuttle in 4.27. The concern many raise about one of the players isn't the same as the one surrounding the other. What's being said is that he has tremendous athletic potential. However, combined results are just one part of the picture. We can't base everything on combined scores. There are other factors we need to consider for comparison. Let's see how these athletes rank on a well-known sports platform, which is based on combined performances but also takes general scores into account. In this context, one of the players stands out with a ranking of 6.2 and an overall draft ranking of 21. These rankings also include detailed analyses and a variety of other factors that influence these evaluations. On the other hand, the other player is ranked significantly lower on the list, with a larger number of tight ends available. The difference between these two prospects is clear, with one standing out at the top. When we look at their scores on evaluation platform, we get a new perspective on how they compare. It's important to note that while these evaluations are not absolute, many organizations put a lot of effort into studying the data closely to gain valuable insights. One of the athletes led the tight end rankings for 2 consecutive years based on his scores. In contrast, the other player ranked 21st the previous year, coming from a well-known university. It's important to remember that rankings shouldn't be overemphasized, but their positions do carry some relevance. Ranking 21st out of 438 compared to being first among all these players is quite impressive, placing one in the higher percentiles of the group. So, I'll try not to be overly critical of this aspect. Additionally, I looked into the ranking assigned to these athletes as draft candidates by this platform. One of the players is ranked 103rd, signaling that he is seen as a talent among the top 100. The other, on the other hand, is rated closer to 200, specifically around 199, almost reaching the 200 mark. This context should help in understanding their placements. These athletes, when it comes to draft options, have highly relevant placements. Harold Fannin Jr. occupies the 103rd spot, which places him among the top 100 talents. Meanwhile, Jalen ranks closer to 200, indicating he may also be an important pick. This information helps visualize the comparison between the two. While this analysis may not always be precise, for understanding purposes, one could imagine a day 2-pick scenario versus a day 3-1. So, if the 49ers don't manage to secure a tight end on day 2, they're likely to turn their attention to a day 3 tight end. However, it's uncertain how these events will unfold. Everything I've mentioned is highly speculative. The dynamics are far more variable than they seem. However, this offers a perspective on how these two athletes are evaluated in relation to each other. The crucial question, however, is what this means for the 49ers. In my view, this brings some important considerations. Firstly, it indicates that the 49ers are genuinely determined to fill this second receiving position. They've been struggling for years to find a player who can effectively complement George Kittle in 2 tight end formations, especially when both need to be legitimate targets in the passing game. It's clear in these formations that the team is either committing to a running play or opting for a pass. When there is a pass, the primary target is usually George Kittle, especially if a wide receiver is replaced by a blocking tight end like Fannin or, well, it seems I momentarily forgot the name of the player they recently signed. I apologize for that. The tight end they recently signed is Luke Frell. Anyway, when a wide receiver is excluded to make room for a tight end, it generally indicates a lesser chance of that player becoming a receiving option. While Farrell has had some respectable receptions in the NFL, it's not something that can be expected consistently. Therefore, the central message is that the 49ers are truly eager to finally solidify this second option in their passing game. A wide receiver out of the field, when placed in, makes it clear that he won't be a threat as a receiver. Although Pharaoh has made some decent receptions in the NFL, this isn't something that should be expected frequently. Therefore, the 49ers are highly motivated to fill this position. The first two players they visited are both tight ends, and no one else has been publicly reported so far. This alone is worth noting. Several days have passed, and I've shown you earlier how many players teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers have brought in. I haven't compared with all teams. I don't think I have that site open. If I do, I'll check quickly because it truly surprises me how much time. Here it is. I'll check right now. How many teams have brought multiple players for visits? The Cardinals brought in 5. The Falcons, about 10. Let's check. The Bills had just 1. The Panthers, around 12 or 15. The Bears, approximately 8. The Bengals, around 7. The Browns, about 10. The Broncos, Cowboys, Packers, Texans. Let's see. The Chiefs, oh my God. The Raiders. Wow, they brought in a lot of athletes. I'm talking about teams that brought in more than 10 players. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers must have brought around 18. They have so many athletes. This list has likely changed since I showed you before. So, the point is that there are teams bringing in a lot of players they want to observe and have formal meetings with. The 49ers have historically shown significant interest in athletes among the top 30 of the draft. Therefore, my guess is that the 49ers are ready to finally try and fill this role. Another consideration I can add is what this might mean for George Kittle. Now, I don't believe they're trying to pressure him into accepting the current contract being offered or anything like that. Therefore, bringing in a pass-catching tight end is. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A recent video surfaced, igniting speculation that could change the balance of power in the NFL. The scene is captivating, as it shows none other than Aaron Donald, the dominant defensive force who announced his retirement earlier this year, possibly returning to the league, but this time with a different team. The San Francisco 49ers, fresh off an electrifying season and a championship push, have found themselves at the center of one of the most intriguing rumors in football. The news comes just days after Donald's shock retirement announcement in March 2024, leaving fans wondering if the 32-year-old defensive icon had truly hung up his cleats for good. But a potential return has sparked interest across the NFL landscape, with sources claiming that the 49ers, a team already stacked with defensive talent, are targeting Donald for a monumental comeback. Could the former 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, known for his explosive pass rushing and game-changing presence, be joining forces with the likes of Nick Bosa and Fred Warner? If true, this would mark one of the most dramatic shifts in NFL history. The 49ers, already one of the league's top contenders, are now rumored to be preparing a contract offer that would lure Donald back from retirement. With his history of dominance, including a Super Bowl win with the Los Angeles Rams and a career littered with accolades, the idea of him joining the 49ers defense sends shivers down the spines of any NFC contender. But what does this mean for the future of the 49ers roster and their title hopes? For now, the whispers are just that, whispers. The 49ers have yet to confirm or deny their interest in Donald, but sources close to the team suggest that a deal is more likely than not. With Donald's legacy intact and his ability to still be a game wrecker on the field, the thought of him donning a 49ers jersey in a quest for another championship is enough to keep fans on edge. Could the 49ers really pull off one of the most unexpected moves of the offseason? As we await official confirmation, one thing is certain. If Aaron Donald does make his stunning return, it will send shockwaves through the NFL. With the 49ers already a powerhouse, adding the legendary defender would elevate them to a new level entirely. Stay tuned, because this story is just getting started. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.